Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. So, the session today is about how startups can rethink travel today. And in case we haven't met for the last 2 years at Travel Forward, where Amadeus has sponsored the Startup Showcase, let me tell you a bit why we wanted not to miss this opportunity and to meet even virtually in 2020. At Amadeus, we are convinced of the importance that startups have in the travel ecosystem, and also of the importance for them to have a stage to talk about their innovation and their technology in front of industry players, in front of you, but also to network with partners and other entrepreneurs. My name is Evantia Jumba. I'm managing the startup program in EMEA region for Amadeus, and I will be joined today by three amazing startups that have allowed us to share their experiences today. And I will introduce them briefly. Would be Arié Guez from Wenrix, Simon Robin from Tic Tac Trip, and Kevin Gauthier. But before letting them talk to you, let's take a minute and have a look at the new trends that are rebuilding travel today. Let me try to share a couple of slides with you. This unprecedented situation that we as an industry were facing cannot be recovered unless we all work together. And the main efforts that we all need to make in order for the world to travel again can be organized around trust, technology, and the new travel. So how can we rebuild again trust and confidence in the traveler industry? We have on one hand, the traveler players, they need to collect more passenger information for tracking and health purposes. But also they need to be provided with real-time data about how the virus is expanding, the number of cases, but also about the border restrictions. On the other hand, how can we regain trust of the traveler? On one hand, so it's with information, detailed information about if the travel can be rebooked, cancelled, but also about support services in case of disruptions. I used to say before the pandemic that the new marketing is customer service, and I think this is more important than ever. Let's have a look now on how can the technology be an enabler for us in the travel sector to rebuild the traveler without stress and without friction. A technology which is sustainable, a technology which is cloud-based, can be the basis of the players in the sector to come up to new functionalities without a lot of effort on like legacy systems, but also data-led artificial intelligence and Internet of Things and technology, touchless technology, mobile focus. All of this can provide an answer to the traveler needs today. So once we have the trust and we have the technology, the question will be, and it is, how we all together can renew, recover, but also renew the traveler as a better fit that it used to be. Let's have now maybe a closer look to what we see in Amadeus at the customer behavior, the traveler behavior. And I'm sure that all of you have heard in the last days at Travel Forward on other conferences that there is a new balance between domestic and international. But also, there is a different pace that the markets are recovering. And I put up for you a couple of data that we're seeing today. If we look at the red box, these are the numbers that we see at the global scale. Where was the lowest point that the travels industry hit in domestic, but also international, and also where we are today in October 2020 compared to 2019 in terms of recovery. Of course, all this data is kind of before the second wave of lockdown hit Europe and before the good announcement from Pfizer. But you can see already that the domestic travel is regaining at a quicker pace than the international one. And this also has influenced, or it is influenced by other behaviors of the traveler. We have seen a preference of the traveler for the self-driving car or car rental despite air transportation with a rail in between them. Or we can see that there is a focus on spending on local, right, on local activities and restaurants. So that means that the long tail content becomes more and more important. And I was mentioning also that different markets are recovering at different paces. So we have, if you look at these numbers, so of course we look at APAC. APAC hits the lowest point in April 2020, which was kind of a month before the rest of the world. What is interesting to observe now that they are leading the recovery, and if I may say, they are only at 13% less than last year. If we look more in detail, of course, there are some markets that are driving this recovery domestically more than the other ones. And for APAC, for example, we have South Korea and Taiwan. But if we look to the Americas, into Americas, we will have markets like Mexico and United States, of course, which are driving the domestic recovery. For Europe, so Western Europe, we have an interesting mix between Middle East countries and with United Arab Emirates, and also in Nexa we have Russia and Ukraine, which have massive domestic markets, and they are driving the recovery. What is also interesting to look at it is that, of course, the international travel hit kind of the lowest point was the same in all of the markets, which was in May this year, around between 80 and 90%. But the recovery is a bit better with 62-63% in Europe. But what does it mean? The fact that the markets are recovering at a different space. And also what is important to understand, and this is a volatile situation, these markets as we speak, but this situation will change based on the virus's pandemic reality on different markets. But that means as a traveler player, you need to focus your marketing spend in this budget, the market spend on these markets, and be able to change your messaging accordingly. If we go back to other consumer trends that we're observing, of course, and this has been also spoken about, it is the fact that the business traveler is struggling maybe a bit more than the leisure one. And this is going to have an impact also on how airlines will be reshifting their products. But maybe the most interesting of all, it's the biggest shift that we have observed from the beginning of the pandemic would be in the booking times, which have become shorter and shorter. If at the beginning of the pandemic, we're observing something which were like in the 3 months, now this window has shortened and it's less than 3 weeks. Maybe the last one, I don't know if you see it, I see the videos here. Let's see if I move this. Okay, it's about flexibility. By the way, don't hesitate to come up to the chat and ask questions. We'll try to have some time at the end of our session to try and answer them, okay? So flexibility is about what we're talking before. It's about regaining trust of the traveler. The traveler already was requiring a lot of personalization and information at every stage of the travel. But now they need more than ever to understand, even of the search time or the booking time, if this booking is refundable, if it can be changed easily, and also how you are going to reply to their need in case of disruption because of the health issues. So all of these trends, of course, are changing the way that the way we traveler, and they're reshaping the travel today, okay, the new normal. And this is causing us to think and to look for innovation more than ever. And what we acknowledge is that entrepreneurs and startups bring this agility and innovation into the travel ecosystem. So that's why we have decided to come with a unique answer for these new players wanting to come to the traveler space or wanted to play an important role into the travel space. And the Amadeus for Startups, it is our umbrella program, which is covering 4 pillars in a way Amadeus is helping startups. Our Amadeus Ventures, which is our corporate program, and it's our corporate fund, which is looking at the very early stage startups at the crossroads between travel and technology. Amadeus for Developers, it is our gateway to all our open APIs, where very, very early stage startups and innovators can come and play around with our technology and try to create new services for the traveler. If we're looking more also about co-innovating and partnerships, Next Wave, it is the pillar that will be looking as a business incubator and trying to cross-fertilize, if I will say, innovation from partners, startups, and innovation, internally innovation. And last but not least, the Startup Launchpad, which is a unique program which acts like a facilitator and helps startups navigate through the Amadeus complexity with a big focus on online players. So I don't know how am I doing on time. I think we're good. Probably without further notice, I would like now to introduce my amazing panel. So Ariel from Wenrix, Simon Robin for Tic Tac Trip, and Kevin Gauthier from Mowgli. Can I ask you, maybe starting with Ariel, let's do it alphabetically, to introduce yourself for the audience.
Hello, I'm Arya Gez. I'm the chairman of Wenrix. Wenrix is an AI company specialized in airfare automation and optimization for travel agencies. What we do is we operate on existing booking and in the office ID of the travel agency and generate additional savings on their air volume. We reach today something about 4% additional savings for their travel agencies. And basically what we do, we optimize the best pricing and the best timing for ticketing for travel agencies. Today we operate in 37 markets. And before COVID, I would say the number are before COVID, we had about more than $15 billion airfare volumes on our optimized by Wenrix. We focus mainly today on tier 1 travel agencies, which are or OTA or TMC.
Thank you, Arya, and thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Kevin, please tell us a bit more about yourself and about Mowgli.
Sure. Thank you very much, Sheventa and Amadeus, for the invitation. So I'm Kevin. I'm co-founder of Mowgli, a brand new product, which is a mobile app, which is processing 8 billion airfares daily in order to transform the flight shopping experience. So indeed, what we are building at Mowgli is Basically, we think that we can push offers to travelers, especially in this time of uncertainty, rather than just responding with traditional search queries like destination per destination and date per date. So we think that we need a new mobile experience in order to transform how flights are bought on mobile today. And this is what we are building with Moogly and with our technology.
Thank you, Kevin. Simon?
Hello everyone, I am Simon Robin, co-founder and CEO of Tic Tac Trip. Tic Tac Trip is the first ground transportation one-stop shop. It's a booking platform for all trains, buses and carpooling in France and in Europe. One of our key values is that we offer a unique combination, that we can also call intermodality, between more than 150 companies in Europe. For instance, if you want to go from a ski resort to Paris, or from Paris to a ski resort, we are currently the only one to provide a combination with the trains and then a shuttle. We also offer various widgets for our partners and are currently working on developing 2 different APIs to connect deeper with some of them. Despite the COVID and with more than 200,000 visits per month, we plan to become a leader in the selling of ground transportation in the next 3 years.
Okay, thank you, Simon, and thank you to all of you for taking the time and being here. I know when you're an entrepreneur, time is very precious. And maybe I would like to start with a bit of a personal question. So we were discussing, and Arye was mentioning, it's important to keep your mind and your body sharp because it gives you a different mindset. So your mindset can be focused on growth, right? Future growth. So I would like to ask the 3 of you, maybe you can share with us what has been your trick during the last month, to keep your body and your mind sharp. Arye, would you like to start?
Yes, I'm perhaps a stranger in the community here because I continue to travel and escape the wave from COVID to COVID. So I travel from Tel Aviv to Paris, Paris to Lisbon, Lisbon to Milan, Milan to Istanbul, Istanbul to Belgrade, and now I'm in Greece. So I feel that I'm supporting the industry somehow. But I think that the traveling allow me, to not being at home too much and to continue to interact in the industry, in meeting new people and make my mind bright and confident about the future.
Wow, thank you, Arye. I'm sure that you're probably one of the people that have traveled the most during the pandemic. Huh?
I'm sure I'm myself a segment, I think.
Perfect. Simon, how about yourself? Do you have something in particular?
Yeah, it's really way much simpler. I'm just doing some sports, some boxing. In fact, during the first lockdown, we were in Lisbon with my associate and we were boxing together. So it was really useful, and also reading some books. So escaping, not traveling, unfortunately.
So not only personal, but also bonding with the co-founders, right? Interesting one.
Yes, every argument it was boxing.
Kevin, how about yourself? Or maybe how about the things that you do with the team at Moogly? I don't know. Any
from a personal
advice?
point of view, I'm a bit like Simon. I do much of sports, especially in the morning. But as Moogly and as a team, we have decided to launch in a few weeks, in 2 weeks exactly. So it's a way for us to gather the team together with a strong common objective. And it's really important for us to stay focused on growth and to continue to move and to keep forward, especially as the COVID crisis is hitting us. So we are just a team all together in the product launch. So that's very good.
Okay. Yeah, thank you all for sharing this with us. Maybe, Kevin, let's pursue with you. And I think one of the questions that would be interesting to share with the audience would be, what have been your key priorities during this period, but also maybe which challenges have you faced and how have you overcome them?
Yeah, maybe some of people in the audience know the company Winglet. So Moogly is a brand new product, but our company is Winglet, which is a B2B product, an NDC API aggregator, which is also aggregating now LCC content, GGS content, and NDC content. And so we make a strong move during the crisis because we moved from Winglet, from a B2B product, to Moogly, to a B2C product. So the COVID crisis help us to think out of the box and to think how we can help people continue to travel. And unfortunately, our markets, which were travel sellers and big OTAs, were more focused on customer service rather than innovation at this time, and that's perfectly normal. So we take the opportunity to innovate during this period, and that's what we have done. And so we are extremely proud to take the opportunity to do something different.
Okay, very interesting. I would be very curious to hear from the audience if we have any other entrepreneurs. Are there any startups that during the pandemic have done the shift from B2B to B2C? Because I think it's a very interesting one, courageous and interesting.
Yeah, if I can just add something about that, it's we also believe that we have a strong technology as Winglet, and we have seen some move in the US, to be honest, from B2B to B2C, especially in travel tech. But when you have a strong technology and you are not able to sell it as you want to sell it, we also believe that people will continue to travel, in the next year, and people will continue to travel. So it was an opportunity also to showcase our technology, and especially for our B2B customer now, as Winglet, they can see our technology in action through Moogly. So that's also a good way, a good demo, and a good to showcase what we're able to do.
Because we did the opposite. We have the B2C websites, and we have the API, and our B2C website with like all visitors is our main revenue sources right now. But that's how we can showcase what we do and sell our APIs to partners. That's exactly the opposite way.
Yeah, very interesting, right? Two strategies. Let's meet again in 1 year and discuss where the situation stands. Yeah, it would be interesting to find that one.
Sure.
Ariel, anything from Wenrix about new opportunities and also challenges?
Yes, I think that what we did, we sit very much together and defined basically two things. One thing is that all the company except myself are data and data scientists and R&D people. So we strengthened very much the competitive edge of the company. We launched 3 new products, an optimization of the meta, optimization of a payment, OptiPay, and optimization of post-booking. We introduced 2 new products on our R&D, which is on the NDC and LCC products. So this is one thing that we did in terms of R&D. The second is that the optimization become very crucial today. And if we had, I would say, 2 clients, major clients in tier 1, we multiply this number by 3, and the pipe is multiplied by 10. So we have a huge interest today in the company. I don't know, we had perhaps a goal today on the top 10 OTA in the world to reach within 1 year more than 5. We have 2 already. And then TMC, we had 1 major TMC in the top 10 worldwide. Today, I think we are in contact with all of them on the top 10. So we have huge challenge of expanding our client base and to execute and not doing mistake. And it is a big challenge for a startup to integrate with large OTAs, the biggest in the world, and to execute well.
Okay, very interesting. I have the feeling that you've done it like, Churchill-like, you didn't let this opportunity get to waste, and you managed to find a lot of opportunities even during this pandemic, right?
I think the travel agency understood that they need to do in the future at least more with less. So optimization and automation becomes a key issue. So to be honest, half of the pipe reached us rather than we reach them.
Opposite.
And,
right.
And for sure, Amadeus also help us very much in tier 1 and mainly tier 1 and tier 2 customers, which were introduced directly by Amadeus. So the partnership with Amadeus also help us to widen very much in the global perspective.
Okay, I'm very glad you mentioned that, because one of my questions also was around, how the Amadeus for Startup program, helped you. So there's one way. Simon, is there anything that you can maybe share in here? I mean, also on the how, this program helped you, but also maybe on the opportunities that, and challenges during the pandemic.
Yes, of course. For the program, the access to the experts, to raise market experts is super useful, because like SNCF is so complicated, and people that know how it's working are really, really rare. So yeah, so that was really useful from Amadeus. It's also business ideas and how to communicate with Amadeus customers, as we are discussing right now. So yes, that was a really useful Amadeus startup. And more about the priorities we used to work on right now during the COVID is more focused on the product development. We are now focusing on building a huge cache with a lot of trained data. All of the developers at TicTacTrip are working on that right now. And the other priority was, of course, customer care. It was really, really interesting to work on. We recruited a new one at TicTacTrip just to work on that. And customers are so happy to be able to talk with the real human and to have refunds fast and faster than in the market average. So that was really great. And it now with the opportunities. One of the main opportunities we have, I think it was recruiting, because during the COVID, we recruited Georges Sens from Kiwi. He left Kiwi during the crisis because of problematics and wanted to change. And we were able to recruit a really high-class guy like him to TicTacTrip, and he is really helping us with that. And it's a super nice way to recruit super profile.
Very interesting. I'm really sorry. I mean, the time, we only have, 30 minutes today, and there are only 5 minutes left, because there are so many interesting things that you guys are sharing with the audience. But conscious of time, Kevin, let me try to, let's try to wrap up around one question. Maybe, would you have any tips, any recommendations to other startups entering the travel space, or is it anything you would have done differently, if you would start today?
Yeah. Personally, I think that if you are a startup entering the travel market today, you need to see and to pinpoint a new customer behavior, because customer behavior will change for sure. And as you explained in your slides, more flexibility, shorter booking times leads to new products maybe. And so as Mugli and as a team, we deeply believe that it's a good time to innovate and to build new products. So if I have a word for other entrepreneurs today, don't be shy. Venture capital will follow and the market will grow again. So yeah, just take the opportunity to build something relevant and to build something useful for the future.
Thank you, Kevin. Ariel, would be something else you would like to add by advising new players?
Stay lean and stay focused on your vision and your product. It's important.
Okay, Simon.
Yes, if I can add something, it's like to network a lot with big players, with the travel industries, with Amadeus, with everyone. I think it's really important to network, because you meet amazing people that will help you with your ideas and just help you get started. That's amazing.
Okay, thank you all of you. So we need to wrap up. I mean, thank you. There are a couple of questions about the program. Yes, in the corporate fund, it's not only tech. Okay, the question is Amadeus Ventures focusing on tech only? No, there are really startups at the crossroads of technology and travel. But of course, through the whole program, we strive to help startup develop and scale quicker in the travel space. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking this time with the audience today. And I do encourage everyone, if you have more messages, please send it up. We'll try to find a way to answer through social media, through LinkedIn, and with the help of Travel Forward. So the takeaway I have from this session will be that all of you, you gave a lot of positive messages about opportunities, even if in this unprecedented crisis, which is the current crisis that the traveler is facing. So opportunities are still remaining, and entrepreneurs are definitely, very active and very eager to play an important role into the travel space today. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Ariès. Thank you, Kevin, that for your participation in the name, of Wenrix, TikTakTrip, and Mugli. And thank you, everyone. I don't know if we have other questions. Let me see if I can see anything in the chat. But at least we have, we have maybe a couple of seconds. So the last thought for the audience would be, take also the time, as Arya said, to keep your mind sharp, to keep your body health, and continuously meeting and networking, right? This is what I'm taking away from you, Simon, and also bonding with a team in this kind of virtual environment that we are all performing today. So thank you for attending. We are really looking forward to meeting you at the Startup Showcase in 2021 and face-to-face. Thank you, everybody.